Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I'm sorry I'm just getting to my third video of the day because I have been baseball carpooling. In fact, I had a son, my younger son, apparently he's got soft teeth like daddy and he likes candy, and so he had a few cavities. Had to take him to the dentist and get some fillings, and then I had to take my other son to a baseball lesson to hit some balls. But the good news is that he's hitting very good right now. He came out of the slump that he was in, and now we've been 2 for 3, I think the last 3 or 4 games in a row. And so everything's looking good on the baseball front. Now, while I was gone, I saw a few interesting things that came across. The first one is that this John McAfee thing keeps getting more and more fun. I love, by the way, I think I told you, but I love covering John McAfee. I think he's one of those fascinating people. If you want to see something interesting, there's a Netflix documentary about him. There's even I think the documentary even infers that he committed a murder on the island that he lived on or whatever. I'm not weighing in on that one way or another, but this guy is just a really fascinating character. So anyway, @BobandDeep sent me this. And what this is Bitcoin. Now McAfee is saying that Bitcoin's mysterious creators were a team of Indians because John effing McAfee, because I'm John effing McAfee. This guy's just a trip. He says in an interview, this is an interview with Bloomberg, McAfee said, uncovering Bitcoin's creators was a piece of cake. My entire life I've been tracking people who are the best in the world and hiding their identity. Finding Satoshi was a piece of cake for me. Now, I talked earlier today about how his attorney had advised him he's going to get sued and all this. Well, he's still talking. Someone had posted on his Twitter feed trying to act like they were Satoshi, and he said, are you of Indian ethnicity? Then you are the only non-Indian from India on the team, and I have not heard of you. How is that? Okay, and then as we go along here, he says he offered no hard evidence for his claims. That's kind of typical. But he did remind everyone that he created a great company whose focus was to stop hackers. I had to know hacking. I am still John effing McAfee. And then he goes down here. It says expanding on his theory of Satoshi as a collection of Indians, he explained, Satoshi is a collection of people, but the white paper was written by one man who currently resides in the United States. And so that's kind of where this was left. And at some point, somewhere in that one of these articles, he said that he was going to expose him in the next week or something like that. But we will see. But McAfee did join the debate, claiming Wright is 100% not Craig Wright as far as Satoshi. Okay, and next I got this from Michael @VAL5Links. One day I'm going to find out what Michael's last name is because he gives me a lot of good information. I'm going to give him a handshake one day. Cryptocurrency enthusiasts should hold their coin reserves as the IMF declares a war on cash following negative interest rate proposals. If anything, this is the best time for people to turn to cryptocurrencies to help preserve their wealth. I've been ringing this bell since I began my channel, and the reason is because I was one of the people that was affected by the financial crisis in 2008. I was offended by what the central banks did to put us in the crisis. I was offended by what they did to answer the crisis, to supposedly fix what they had created, and I have been angered ever since by the money printing and the ridiculously low interest rates. They have screwed savers, the people, responsible savers left and right, because now they have interest rates at a place or they have to be because these governments cannot carry their debts if the interest rates are too high. And they know it, and that's the dirty secret. And it is shameful. Well, that's what's being talked about here. I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. IMF, let's go down to here. Cryptocurrency enthusiasts should hold their coin reserves as the IMF declares a war on cash following negative interest rate proposals. If anything, this is the best time for people to turn to cryptocurrencies to help preserve their wealth. For people who are already in cryptocurrencies, this is the best time to preserve wealth in digital currencies, not fiat, if reports from Weiss Ratings is anything to go by. And what they're talking about is this down here. According to Weiss, the International Monetary Fund did declare war on cash following proposals to implement negative interest rates. In their tweet, Weiss Ratings says, the IMF is the latest financial institution to declare war on cash. If they succeed, your fiat savings will go up in a puff of zero interest rate policies. This is why this is why we hold. And that's their tweet there. And that's exactly right. I want you to imagine, and I've talked about this before, I want you to imagine a scenario. Let's say you've got $10,000 in your bank account, and you're already paying all these fees to these banks and everything, but let's say that that $10,000, traditionally it's supposed to pay you a decent amount of money. You're supposed to get more interest the more money that you have invested. Well, imagine a world where that $10,000, you have to pay them interest. And I can only assume that the higher the negative interest rate, the more that you pay for the amount that you have. So if you have $10,000, you'll pay more interest to them for the privilege of having that bank account than you would pay if you had, let's say, only $1,000 in that bank account. That is an upside down sick world is what that is, folks. That is the sick world that is created by central bankers who do not have the citizens of the countries in mind, their best interest. That is sickness. That is what central banks and all this money printing and all this central bank creation of money and printing unlimited amounts and trying to control everything centrally. That's what happens. And the reason it happens is because you have an unholy marriage of central bankers and bankers and politicians. And that is politicians do not have an incentive to do the responsible thing. They have an incentive. They're over here listening to voters screaming about how they should have all of these freebies, and they're just giving them to them, and then they're leaning on the central banks and leaning on the banks and telling them what they're going to do on the other end. It cannot work. It does not work. That's the reason we're in this mess. That's the reason digital assets were created in the first place. That's the reason Bitcoin was born of the financial crisis. That's the reason you should hold. Forget all these day-to-day things. It doesn't mean anything. What matters is the big picture. That's what matters. And if you're an XRP holder, you hold the greatest digital asset ever created. Okay, and next I got this from Sean Michael, @Michaels_Mr. Now, we covered a little bit of this earlier today, but new news came out today about ErisX. They tweeted, and let me show you their tweet first. ErisX tweeted, a limited number of participants are testing our production platform to ensure a robust offering upon our public launch. We will have more to say soon. If you are interested in learning more, please sign up for additional information. Now, so what you're seeing now is we've been talking about how Backed and Fidelity Digital Assets and ErisX, which is another Wall Street backed digital asset platform. It's backed partially by TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade a few months back said that they would offer digital assets through this platform somehow, some way to their 11 million retail customers. This is what opens the floodgates for all the rest. E-Trade, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, they're going through the door first. So let's go back to this article. This is what I got from Sean Michael. ErisX testing its new crypto exchange, and TD Ameritrade is one firm looking to link up with the market. Now remember, I think it was yesterday, I showed you where TD Ameritrade was shown to be testing Bitcoin and Litecoin trading to their retail customers. Now look at this. ErisX, the Chicago-based crypto exchange, is gearing up to launch its market for spot crypto trading, and it's recently been in test mode with some prospective firms hoping to link up to its marketplace. Now think about this, folks. So, because the next line tells you everything. TD Ameritrade is one of those firms. Sources familiar with the situation tell the block, meaning TD Ameritrade could soon offer crypto trading to its 11 million retail clients. Now look at this. Go back to this. ErisX, it's gearing up to launch its market for spot crypto trading, and it's recently been in test mode with some prospective firms hoping to link up to its marketplace. So you've got TD Ameritrade. You know what that means, folks. What it means is E-Trade, Charles Schwab, you name it. It means this is the retail link. All this while, all this year, they've been telling us, oh yes, this is only going to be for institutional investment. But what they're about to do, they've been parking all of their institutional clients in the over-the-counter market all this year. And now you're being told for the first time, not just TD Ameritrade, but right here, this line is gearing up to launch its market for spot crypto trading, and it's recently been in test mode with some prospective firms hoping to link up to its marketplace. TD Ameritrade is one of those firms, but they're doing it with some prospective firms. So they're telling us that they're going to open this up to retail, and that is a monster. It's a monster, folks. I told my wife in 2013 that if I was right about all of this, and I've told people on this channel before, if I was right about all of this, that one day I would be able to send my XRP to an E-Trade or to a Schwab account, and if that was correct, it is on like Donkey Kong, and I was right. And that is what you're seeing form up right now. So forget about the down days. It's irrelevant. What's relevant is that Wall Street is coming, and it's not just institutional. It is retail. Okay, next I wanted to show you this. Let's talk adoption some more. Wrap icon to accept Bitcoin Lightning payments at online store. Well, I'm getting old. I'm 45 years old now. This is an 18-year-old rapper that I've never heard of, but some of the people listening probably have. The 18-year-old rap musician Lil Pump has announced that his online store will accept payments for products via the Lightning Network. Fans of the artist will be able to spend Bitcoin on merchandise from Lil Pump fashion line. Unhappy using the innovative micropayment. Wait, I don't know what this part means. Unhappy using the innovative. Lil Pump will to welcome. I don't know what that line was because I think this whole article is about him wanting to accept Bitcoin. Okay, next from Leonidas, new RippleNet member, EQI Bank. Now you can go to, this is a new, EQI Bank is a licensed and regulated bank for national currencies, crypto, and digital assets based in Rosia, Dominica. It's received a license in October 2018. You can go to xrparcade.com to read that article. And finally, I wanted to read this to you. This just let you know about this announcement. Swift is pleased to announce the appointment of Javier Perez Tasso as its new chief executive officer. So Swift now has a chief executive officer. It will be interesting to see how this guy handles Ripple and the innovation that it is. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for informational purposes only, entertainment only. Please subscribe and hit the like button. And tell your friends and family that retail brokers are coming into digital assets. Thank you for listening.